Good Wednesday morning to you all. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John. It's Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through a week. It's a short week because of the holiday on Monday. And I'm hoping that everyone is having a good day so far. Not a whole lot to talk about. I guess you were all inundated with all the goings on with the trial in New York yesterday, which took over the news for the day. That and the fact that everyone in the world is mad at Israel for defending itself. And that will continue to be a sore spot with most of the pro-Palestinian jerks that are out there waving flags and shouting through bullhorns and all of the nonsense that they take to the streets now. So it's disturbed some graduations in several schools and things like that. But it's to no avail. They have to do what they have to do. We know that Hamas has started this. Israel is defending their country, and they have every right to do that as far as I'm concerned, and I know a lot of people don't agree with that. Joe Biden is talking about canceling the Trump tax cuts that were put in place, which will just simply mean more taxes for you and me and people that are working for a living. Congress is still fighting to get these things that they want through, which will cost more and more money as we go. No sign of anyone in Congress looking to balance the budget. You have a Speaker of the House that just goes along with some of this stuff. We don't have the wherewithal to be letting them go on another spending spree, which is what they're looking to do. The Democratic aisle is looking to spend more bucks, which is not something we should be doing. Everything is in trouble out there, and they don't want to realize or wake up to the fact that we can't be doing this anymore without a balanced budget. They have strained all of the social programs to the max by state by putting all of these illegals in, which they continue to do. Every day we get 25 to 3,000 more over the border every day because the welcome sign is lit. Welcome, says Joe Biden in the Democratic Party. Why? We can talk about that ad nauseum, but we won't. But here's a simple fact. I watched something this morning about dollar stores going under. They're not dollar stores anymore. They're $5 stores now because when you go in, everything is $3 to $5, and they're making changes. They are so upset about having to answer questions for people coming up and saying, well, how much is this and how much is that they have now installed scanners in some of these dollar stores that you have to scan your own merchandise. So you'll say to me, John, that's not too bad because I don't have to talk to anybody, but that's what's wrong with this country right now. No one wants to talk to anybody. No one wants to get explanations of why these things are happening. Or if you give them an explanation, they walk away because they're bewildered. They don't understand what is really happening to the population here in the United States. The cost of goods are out of control. When the dollar stores no longer have the 99-cent store or the dollar store, they're now $3 to $5 stores and will increase, I'm sure, before November election. We're trying to artificially lower gas prices at the pump, as I said yesterday, because they're depleting our emergency reserves so Joe doesn't look like the idiot that he is. and running for re-election. If he ever makes it that far, I will be absolutely surprised. But cost of goods, cost of homes, cost of insurance, cost of gasoline are rising daily. Now, gasoline dropped 15 to 20 cents in some places around here in one day. So you're going to tell me that the trucks came out and put in different gasoline? No. And then California decides that, they want to go electric, and then Newsom realizes last week that if that happens, the $4 gas tax that he has on gasoline goes away. How do you replenish that? It is unbelievable that we have people in charge of budgets that don't understand math, simple mathematics. It is incredible. It is incredible that the crime has increased in major cities all through this nation, and in some cases have tripled the crime numbers that are taking place in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, Austin, Texas. And yes, some of this is a direct result of not so nice people that have poured through the border. But we have a lot of mental illness in this country that is taking place, and we have an awful lot of fraudsters outside this country that have figured out ways to get into our computer systems and get into these telephones that we use on a daily basis and go on from there. It gets worse by the day, helped along by AI. AI is not ready yet for prime time, in my estimation, nor will it be for a little bit until someone figures out how to proof it from hackers. The insurance industry, medical insurance has been hacked. Dental insurance has been hacked. There are doctors and dentists out providing for people that cannot get paid from their insurances because they're trying to recover from a hack job that they went and paid ransomware on. So who ends up paying for this? It's you and it's me. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we are not privy to because we have a state-controlled or a government-controlled media outlet. Our legacy media has been told what to say, when to say it, and what they can't talk about. So you have to go into a platform such as YouTube, Rumble, Truth, or go into a foreign network if you can get in online to get world news, the real world news that we're not told here. But they'll take out the bad parts and rerun it over and over and over again. Like CNN running the poor Palestinian boy with the big mark on his eye where his eye was almost put out. Do you know how that happened? That happened from him looking through a scope on a rifle that he was not familiar with, which hurt him. He hurt himself trying to shoot somebody else. So CNN runs that over and over and over again to make you believe that the Israelis did that to him. How about all that they found out about the dead bodies of children that they showed you, and once the camera turned off, they got up and walked away? Do you think that this is media that is telling you the truth about anything? Or do they sensationalize, like the Weather Channel sensationalizes hurricanes, where they're out there holding themselves against the wind, and they're blowing, and then the sign behind them is just doing this. It's sensationalization, something that Hollywood has taught them to do, and this is why the mainstream media praises actors like Robert Delusional there yesterday, out screaming and hollering about, if Trump gets elected, he's never going to go away. Come on. What do these Hollywood people know anyway? I always thought he was a very good actor, but he's lost his mind. To be saying things like this, to be driving a wedge again against somebody that is a candidate running for office. We know what he's capable of because he served as president before. We know what we're getting. What we didn't know what we were getting with Vice President Biden coming into office as president. We've learned that. And boy, have we. But there it is. So with that, there's not a heck of a lot more going on, except for some of the smash and grab still continue. The theft of department stores and jewelry stores, and even the dollar stores are susceptible to this now, is going on because either people cannot afford to feed their families and put out what they need to put out, or there's a problem with homeless that cannot make any money, or immigrants that have no way to make a salary. And here we are. I guess the new Democratic strategy is to get actors and actresses to get out and do the campaigning for Joe, because I don't believe he has the stamina to do it himself. So now they have De Niro and they have Julia Roberts and Clooney that are out on the campaign trail talking. Their whole thing is to run down Trump and run down RFK Jr. to the point where it's people are wising up and getting sick and tired of hearing this kind of stuff. And if you have to rely on an actor that makes a living playing other people to tell you how to vote or how to think, then we have a real serious problem in this country that has to be dealt with. And then you look at the state of the union is not healthy. No matter what they try to tell you and convince you of, it is not where it should be. We have a military that has a deficit in recruitment, because if we go to war, the people that are they're going to have to be conscripted into the military. I don't want to go to war with these people, because when the bullets start to fly, they're going to start to run because they have no ability to understand what a man or a woman is. Never mind, this is my gun. We're in a sad state of affairs. And if this Congress does not get their act together and talk amongst each other about getting the draft reinstated, like Europe is doing right now, Europe is preparing for war. And we're not in the shape we were in the 1930s and 40s when Europe came to us saying, please help us defeat the Third Reich. We're not in that situation right now where we could go help anyone. And I'm not saying that our military does not have a certain monicum of people that are ready to go to war. We do, but how well they're going to do it and how well they're being trained to do it worries me. The Air Force has a problem getting pilots. The Navy has a problem. So their answer to that, because we have people in charge of these organizations right now that were diversity put there, will tell you that, well, we'll just lower the requirements. And then we'll get more people to sign up for it. That's not going to work. Their other big plan is if something happens, they're going to put in to the military ranks the illegal aliens, in most cases who speak no English or are already part of the Chinese army that are in here now in the thousands. We have built a paramilitary inside our country that will fight against us, and no one is raising a red flag over this. You have to ask yourself, why? Is it because they want to destroy the republic that we are and bring in socialism to a point where we're all slaves to who? The military industrial complex? The pharmaceutical companies? China? Why do we give them a pass on everything? Their alliance right now with Russia should worry the heck out of every human being sitting in this country. And the fact that we have military-aged Chinese men coming through our southern border in droves and being sent around to strategic points. Don't forget, we have a very short memory in this country. It wasn't that long ago that the Chinese were allowed to fly a spy balloon across this entire country and map out every silo, every military base that we have. And they let it go until it finished and then shot it down. Did we forget that? Did we forget who the terrorists are that are still viable around the world that say death to America? Did we forget that we have people sitting in Congress from some of these nations that believe death to America is okay for them to be in the streets hollering? They believe that the Palestinians are in the right here, but they will not condemn Hamas, who are in charge in Palestine, and the Palestinian people put them in charge. Why are we not educating people of this fact? Why do we allow this on our college campuses? Why do we allow high schools to do away with ROTC junior programs? Why do we allow colleges to do it? These are good programs. There's financial aid there, and it builds some character in these young people that we are devoid of right now. Meantime, we have veterans. If you listen to 3 of 7, will tell you why the suicide rate is so high among veterans. Inside the military, there is a regime that wants to make you think that once you leave the military, you're useless anymore. And this is harmful. But that's what's going on. The world is changed, and it is changing rapidly around us. We have the climate change hoax. We had the pandemic hoax. All this stuff is coming out in dribs and drabs right now, and the people who want to report on it are being silenced by mainstream media and by this government. We need to be aware of this, and we need to let the people that we've elected to do our business know our feelings. Oh, now they're worried that they're going to shut the government down because the Republicans won't go along with this new spending bill that they came out with yesterday. And the House Speaker is going to go along with it. We do not have the people that paid the big taxes working anymore to support them writing checks for programs that are either lackluster or meaningless. And to support other countries' wars with our tax dollars is dead wrong. But we're doing it. And they want to do more. You got Blinken that has managed to, do nothing about the three fronts that we have open right now that are very, very volatile and can cause us to be in another war with our soldiers with boots on the ground, no matter what Biden comes out and tells you or says at the commencement speech at West Point. No one believes him anymore. He lies every time he speaks. I mean, it's countless. Australian News has a program that's on daily that just talks about what he said yesterday and points out, 9 lies in one speech. The man either really does believe these things or just makes it up. But, I've listened to him. When he talks to the Greeks, he grew up Greek. When he talks to the Irish, he grew up Irish. When he talks to a black church, he went to a black church all his life. He cannot stop himself. The man's a plagiarist. He got into politics and a Senate seat and then ran for president and used a person's speech from the UK almost verbatim and got caught. So he has a history of lying. Yet you're going to convince me that 81 million people voted him into office after watching the job he did as vice president, the last fake we had in there? Who, by the way, is campaigning again. He doesn't stop campaigning. He says it's for Biden, but you know darn well that he's a teleprompter junkie and he can't help himself with his little speech pattern that he has with the pregnant pauses. All about how great a job Joe has done. Well, we know who's doing the job. It's not Joe. It's whoever is behind the curtain, which I have a pretty good idea. And I've been told by Marsha Blackburn herself that he is running things. Oh, Biden. That's what we need to call him. Joe O. Biden. But now we have actors telling us that we're all crazy if we do something that doesn't agree with their agenda, when Hollywood can't even put together a good movie anymore. It used to be at this time of year they would be coming out with advertisement after advertisement for this great movie and that great movie, and don't forget to get to the theaters on July 4th for this big blockbuster. There are no blockbusters anymore. If it wasn't for remakes of old films and comic books, Hollywood wouldn't produce anything. Then they, all these actors that want to tell you how to vote or think themselves now that they're, recognize that they can become producers. They can become, like Opie Taylor, that grew up as an actor and now is a major producer and director, a good one. So is Clint Eastwood. But we just recently saw one of the new movies that J-Lo produced about this space thing. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not only was the acting bad, but the CGI, if it wasn't for CGI, they wouldn't have had a film. But it was kind of scary because it told you somewhat of the truth about what AI is capable of. None of that is any good. But for Hollywood people that think that they're above and smarter than you or me or most of the population, they have another thing coming, because they are probably some of the dumbest people you'll run into, other than the fact that they can learn lines and play somebody else. Most of them aren't happy in their own life, and they're going to tell you how to run yours. Enough said today about all of this junk. It's a beautiful day outside. There's no rain. There's a lot of sunshine, and it's a cool day today. It's only going to be in the mid-70s, and I'm looking forward to being out there. And maybe I'll take the camera out, and maybe we'll get some outside footage today to add to this. We'll post that up later. Get out to downtown Bristol maybe and take a Bristol walk and see what's going on down there. But until then, we're going to wish you a great day, a great Wednesday. And remember, it's a short week, and we're going to have some really nice weather for this weekend, it looks like. And I hope you all do as well. And until then, we're going to say goodbye, and I'm going to get on out of here. God bless you all. We love you here at the Kaiser Report. And if you haven't, please subscribe to this channel and share this channel with your friends. We'd love to have your support here. So thank you, and bye-bye now.